Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight where we get you the day's top stories. Let's start with the headlines. Opposition raises issue of a crisis in Rajya Sabha. Members highlight distressed sales of crops in the face of cheaper zero-duty imports and farmer suicides. Tamil Nadu members in Rajya Sabha demand complete exemption of the state students from the combined medical entrance test NEET. Government says President needs to decide on the issue. Supreme Court takes up hearing to decide the question of privacy. 9-member Constitution bench says right to privacy is not absolute and cannot be catalogued as it includes everything. T.R. Zeliang has appointed the new Chief Minister of Nagaland after Shirozile Lezetso and his supporters failed to face the floor test, asked to prove majority in the House on or before 22nd of July. Our top story, and starting with proceedings from Rajya Sabha, opposition members in the upper house voiced concern over agrarian crisis and spate of farmer suicides in the country. They claim that farmers were compelled to resort to distressed sales. The chair also admitted the seriousness of the matter. Here are more details. Opposition members expressed grave concern over agriculture crisis and farmers' issue in the upper house on Wednesday. Raising the issues during 0 hour, JDU MP Sharad Yadav said the condition of the farmers in the country was deteriorating. He said pulses production has been raised by 33%, but the government has lowered the import duty to zero, resulting in cheaper shipments into the country.
425 रुपए अरहर पर, उड़द पर, ये तीनों दालों के दाम बढ़ाए आपने, डिस्ट्रेस सेल हो रहा, जीरो इंपोर्ट में आपने गेहूं को 10% बढ़ाया। मैं उस पर नहीं कहना चाहता, लेकिन किसानों ने मेहनत करके, ये शरद पवार जी बैठे हैं, हाँ पूरी मेहनत करके सदन ने, पूरी सरकारों ने, यूपीए सरकार ने 33% दाल के किसान जो हैं उनको उत्पादन बढ़ाया। शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन डिस्कशन हो जाएगा। इतनी मेहनत करके जान सटा करके किसानों ने उत्पादन किया, उसकी कीमत नहीं मिल रही है।
Also speaking on the issue, Congress's Digvijay Singh alleged that farmers were getting bullets instead of fair price, while Ali Anwar Ansari of the JDU argued that the NPAs of corporate companies run in several lakh crores, but small farmers commit suicide under financial distress over just thousands of rupees.
150 से ज्यादा किसान संगठन आज जंतर मंतर पर बैठे हुए कल से पूरे देश के, और जैसा कि शरद यादव जी ने कहा है, इसलिए हम डिस्कशन करना है। समस्या पूरा देशव्यापी है, लेकिन सरकार मौन है।
8 लाख करोड़ रुपया एनपीए का जमा है कारपोरेट घरानों के पास, बड़े सरमाएदार पूंजी पर। वो सुसाइड करता है, सुसाइड कर रहा है।
Let me come back to 267. Let me come.
सर उसके लिए
267.
ये बहुत गंभीर मामला है सर।
Let me come back to 267.
बच्चे आए थे, उनकी विधवाएं आई थी, रही है, रो रही है।
Let me come back to 267.
As several members tendered notices under Rule 267 to allow adjournment of the proceedings to take up a discussion on the agrarian crisis, Deputy Chair P.J. Kurian assured the House that a discussion on the matter has been accepted and the members can raise the concern during the debate.
I am not disputing it. I will examine it. Okay.
Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Well, cutting across party lines, Tamil Nadu members in Rajya Sabha demanded complete exemption of the state students from the combined medical entrance test NEET. The government clarified that it has given its views on the legislation passed by the Tamil Nadu Assembly for exempting the state, and it was now up to the President to take a view on it.
Not permitted at all.
Members from across the political spectrum from Tamil Nadu joined ranks in the upper house to demand permanent exemption from the national eligibility cum entrance test. Raising the issue during 0 hour, AIADMK member A.K. Selvaraj said NEET was based on the CBSE syllabus and 90% of Tamil Nadu students were from the state board.
The NEET was against the interest of Tamil Nadu students aspiring for MBBS admission, and that the test was based on Central Board of Secondary Education. But 98% of Tamil Nadu students had studied on state syllabus. The question was asked out of the syllabus in public examinations, the students from Tamil Nadu may not be able to answer them properly.
DMK's Kanimori contended that the infrastructure in medical colleges was developed by the state and the state's students had the legitimate right over seats. CPI's D. Rajya, CPM's T.K. Rangarajan and Congress's Anand Sharma reiterated the exemption demand.
The Tamil Nadu government and all the political parties in Tamil Nadu want a permanent exemption from this NEET. We do not want NEET examinations for our students, and there was a standing committee recommendation also which said states which did not want to be part of the NEET examinations have to be exempted.
I urge upon the union government to give exemption to Tamil Nadu.
The government must make it clear rather than passing it on to the president.
No, they did not pass
the
it on to the
president of India in a dock.
It is only members, sir.
The HRD minister should clarify it is not the president. What is the government's view on that?
The government clarified that deliberations were held with all stakeholders.
We have discussed with everybody concerned. The matter is at advanced stage and is sub judice. We and the health ministry are also in touch, and so we have taken note of everybody's plea.
Last year we gave an exemption. This year,
No, don't interrupt like that.
This year the NEET examination took place. In between, the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly has come out with a bill which has come to the President of India. We have given our viewpoint on this, and the reasons which they have given, we have also replied in that context also. It is with the Honorable President to decide accordingly, and through Home Ministry we are initiating it.
Dissatisfied by the government's response, AIADMK and DMK members trooped into the well of the House, claiming that thousands of poor and rural students would be affected by NEET-based admissions. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Opposition members also objected to the government's decision to privatize defence PSUs during 0 hour in Rajya Sabha. The opposition alleged that the government's move will destroy the manufacturing capability of the country. Several other issues of public importance were raised in the upper house.
Raising the issue through a 0 hour mention, CPM Tapan Singh sought termination of the strategic disinvestment of defence PSUs. Anand Sharma of the Congress claimed that privatization will turn out to be harmful.
Some disastrous decision is being taken that in ordnance factory, which are producing 273 products, out of that 182 products are being taken away for being outsourced by the private players, and already 200 licenses are given to them. And this will lead to at least 7 ordnance factory will be jobless.
No country has given up its indigenous ammunition and spares making capacities, which the Indian defense PSUs have been doing. Now you are taking out products from them instead of placing orders on them and disinvesting, privatizing. This is a much larger issue, and it will prove to be one of the biggest scams of this government.
In another 0 hour mention, Pratap Singh Bajwa of the Congress said Iraqi forces had fled Mosul from ISIS while seeking to know the whereabouts of the 39 Indian youths who were kidnapped by the terror group in June 2014.
मेरी एक अपील है प्राइम मिनिस्टर को, आपने वीके सिंह जी को भेजा है external. Why can't you send all party delegation along with the minister and ensure that those people are either brought in or tell their parents that they are no more alive? ये मेरी गुजारिश है कि ऐसे मत बैठिए, मिसलीड देश को मत कीजिए, पार्लियामेंट को मिसलीड मत कीजिए, सारे देश की credibility का सवाल है.
Demands to control malaria and dengue and curb illicit drug abuse were also raised in the upper house during 0 hour. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Members in the upper house also expressed concern over the rampant menace of manual scavenging in the country. Ali Anwar Ansari of the JDU said that many people have lost their lives due to asphyxiation while cleaning septic tanks, most recently in Delhi. The government assured the House of stern action in such cases.
Despite being a criminal and non-bailable act, manual scavenging continues in the country. Drawing the attention of the House over the practice during 0 hour, Ali Anwar Ansari of the JDU said that 4 sanitation workers died in the national capital after inhaling toxic gases while cleaning a septic tank. He argued that while many scientific expeditions have been unveiled by India, yet no machine has been developed yet to clean sewage. Members from across the political spectrum associated with Ansari on the issue.
नाले की सफाई करता है तो उसका ये नाक खत्म हो जाता है, डेड हो जाता है और वो जहरीली गैस से मर रहा है। कोई मशीन नहीं, कोई ऑपरेटर्स नहीं, कोई मशीन नहीं। ये क्या करते हैं? ये विकास की बात कर रहे हैं।
Responding to the concerns, Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot informed the House that a probe has been ordered into the death of sanitation workers in the national capital.
मैं आपसे आपके माध्यम से निवेदन करना चाहूँगा कि सरकार इस संबंध में जहाँ भी कोई घटना घटती है, राज्य सरकार के साथ संपर्क करके कार्रवाई करती है। और ये जो 4 लोग अभी 3 दिन पहले ही सीवेज टैंक की सफाई करते हुए मारे गए हैं, इनके संबंध में भी कार्रवाई जारी है और अगर इस पर कभी चर्चा होगी तो मैं विस्तृत जानकारी भी दूंगा।
There are over 12,700 manual scavengers in 13 states, despite the practice being banned 4 years ago. The government provides one-time cash assistance, skill development training and also capital subsidy to rehabilitate manual scavengers. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
A bill to grant statutory status to the Indian Institutes of Information Technology or IITs in PPP mode was passed by Lok Sabha on Wednesday. Replying to the debate on the bill, HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar said under the new provisions, fees for poor students will not increase and reservation law would also apply. The IIT Public-Private Partnership Bill 2017 seeks to grant statutory status to 15 IITs and declare them as institutions of national importance. It also seeks to enable these institutions to grant degrees to their students in the academic courses conducted by them.
बदल रही दुनिया बहुत गति से, उसके लिए आधुनिक शिक्षा चाहिए, उसके संस्थान नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस के करने चाहिए, इसलिए बिल। और इसमें सबकी भागीदारी चाहिए। प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप का महत्व कम ना करो। नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है, इंटरनेट ऑफ एवरीथिंग आ रहा है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आ रहा है, 3D प्रिंटिंग आ रहा है, रोबोटिक्स आ रहा है। स्टूडेंट्स को ये सब सीखने का मौका होना चाहिए।
All right, with that, a quick break here. More news follows in a bit. Stay with us.
हैदराबाद में 8 फरवरी 1897 को जन्मे जाकिर हुसैन सिर्फ 8 साल के थे तो पिता का साया हमेशा के लिए उठ गया। जवान हो रहे जाकिर जब अलीगढ़ में पढ़ रहे थे तो आजादी के आंदोलन में कूद पड़े, पढ़ाई छोड़ दी और महात्मा गांधी की टोली में शामिल हो गए। वो जब सिर्फ 29 बरस के थे तो जामिया मिलिया के वाइस चांसलर बने। गांधी जी ने उन्हें देश में बुनियादी शिक्षा के ढांचे को दुरुस्त करने का काम सौंपा। इसके बाद अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी के कुलपति के तौर पर उन्होंने शानदार काम किया। डॉक्टर हुसैन ने देश के सामाजिक, राजनीतिक और आर्थिक ढांचे पर असर डालने वाली अनेक किताबें लिखीं। उनकी प्रतिभा को देश ने पहचान लिया था। 1952 से 57 तक वो राज्यसभा के सदस्य रहे। इसी दौरान डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन को पद्म विभूषण से सम्मानित किया गया। राज्यसभा का कार्यकाल पूरा होने के बाद 5 साल वो बिहार के राज्यपाल रहे। 1962 में वो भारत के दूसरे उपराष्ट्रपति चुने गए। अगले ही साल वो भारत रत्न का सम्मान पा चुके थे। 13 मई 1967 को वे देश के तीसरे राष्ट्रपति चुने गए।
I pledge my loyalty to my country, irrespective of region or language. I pledge myself to work for its strength and progress. The whole of Bharat is my home, and the people are my family.
राष्ट्रपति के तौर पर डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन शानदार पारी खेल रहे थे। देश को उनसे बड़ी उम्मीदें थीं। अचानक 13 मई 1969 को डॉक्टर हुसैन उस सफर पर चले गए जहां से लौटकर कोई नहीं आता। सिर्फ 2 साल के कार्यकाल में डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन ने देश और दुनिया को अपने ज्ञान और कौशल से सम्मोहित कर लिया था।
रुखसत ए बागबान के टुक देख लें चमन, जाते हैं वहां जहां से फिर आया न जाएगा।
Welcome back. Let's continue getting you more national news. And a 9-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court started hearing arguments to determine if the right to privacy is a fundamental right under the Constitution. The court observed that the right to privacy is not absolute. The court also asked the advocate representing the petitioners on what privacy entails. Justice J. Chandrachud said that every right to make a decision may not be part of the right to privacy. Arguing for the petitioner, senior advocate Gopal Subramaniam initiated the hearing, stating that the right to life and liberty are pre-existing natural rights. Pointing out that liberty is the fundamental value of our Constitution, he said that life and liberty are natural existing rights in our Constitution. The senior advocate then asked if liberty can be experienced without privacy, and can liberty be exercised without privacy, at least with regard to all the fundamental rights of the Constitution. Subramaniam pointed out that some preambular values are meant to be read with fundamental rights. Further, the preamble contains expressions from the American Constitution and continental countries. The 9-member bench is dealing with the limited issue of the right to privacy, while matters challenging the Aadhaar scheme itself will be referred back to a smaller bench. The bench, headed by Chief Justice J.S. Kheher, has Justices J. Chelameshwar, S.A. Bobde, R.K. Agarwal, Rohinton Fali Nariman, Abhay Manohar Sapre, D.Y. Chandrachud, Sanjay Kishan Kaul and S. Abdul Nazir. The Apex Court had set up the Constitution bench on Tuesday after a 5-judge bench referred the matter to a larger bench. The 5-judge Constitution bench, headed by the CJI, was confronted with 2 past verdicts delivered by larger benches in 1950 and 1962, which held that the right to privacy was not a fundamental right. The Apex Court said the 9-judge bench will deal with the limited issue of right to privacy and the correctness of the 2 judgments. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Naga People's Front leader T.R. Zeliang on Wednesday took oath as the new Chief Minister of Nagaland. This comes 5 months after he resigned from the CM's post. Governor P.B. Acharya administered him the oath of office. The governor has asked him to prove his majority on or before 22nd of July. Meanwhile, within hours of the oath taking, the NPF expelled Zeliang for 6 years for anti-party activities. Zeliang, however, maintained that he would continue to remain part of the NPF and be the NPF leader in the House. Zeliang was appointed as Chief Minister in the morning by the governor as the incumbent CM, Shirozile Ledzetse, and his supporters failed to turn up in the assembly to face a floor test. This led to the Speaker to adjourn the House sine die. Ledzetse is facing a rebellion from his party MLAs, which prompted Governor Acharya to direct the Speaker to conduct a floor test. Interestingly, T.R. Zeliang had resigned from the CM's post in February this year after party legislators withdrew their support over protests against local polls. Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari today presented Lokmat Awards to selected parliamentarians. The event was attended by former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari, NDA's Vice Presidential candidate Venkaiah Naidu, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge and other top leaders. Senior BJP leaders L.K. Advani and JDU's Rajya Sabha member Sharad Yadav were presented Lifetime Achievement Awards for their exemplary contribution in Parliament. Other parliamentarians included Meenakshi Lekhi, Sitaram Yechuri, Jaya Bachchan, who were honoured in various categories.
A parliamentarian, thus, first and foremost, must believe in democracy. Our Constitution provides a framework for our democracy. A framework is one aspect. Its spirit is another and more important aspect. It is the duty of the elected representatives of the people of India to prevent erosion of the vitality and spirit of democracy that is the lifeblood of our parliament.
In some cricket news now, Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri officially started a new innings as captain and head coach of the Indian cricket team on Wednesday. Before leaving for the Sri Lanka tour as a unit, the two addressed a press conference in Mumbai. The two spoke about Shastri's appointment and confusion surrounding the naming of the support staff. Shastri in particular defended the choice of Bharat Arun as bowling coach, saying that he had immense coaching experience.
There's a track record. 15 years his life has been coaching, right? And you look at that track record. It's outstanding. You know, right from junior level to A teams to Indian Junior World Cup teams, he's been part of. He knows these boys better than I do.
This is Ravi Shastri's second innings with the Indian team. He was team director from 2014 to 2016. The Indian team is coming from a successful series in the Caribbean and are confident going into the series against Sri Lanka. The series in the island nation starts on the 26th of July.
जैसे कि मैंने बोला कि हम पहले साथ काम कर चुके हैं, तो हमें पता है कि what's expected, what's going to be on the plate, और जो पहले हमारे लिए काम किया है, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि उस चीज़ में एफर्ट लगेगा समझने में, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने बोला कि पहले काम कर चुके हैं साथ में.
The team has done exceedingly well over 3 years, and there are the people who deserve the credit more than anybody else. These Ravi Shastris, Anil Kumble's will come and go. Okay? The fabric of Indian cricket will remain, and the credit should go to everyone who's participated in this Indian team.
Pakistan today summoned Indian Deputy High Commissioner JP Singh over ceasefire violations along the LOC. 2 Pakistani civilians were killed and 6 others injured in alleged ceasefire firing by Indian troops in Baro and Tandar sectors yesterday. Director General for South Asia and SAARC, Mohammad Faisal, condemned the unprovoked ceasefire violations. News agency PTI quoted him as saying that the deliberate targeting of civilians is indeed deplorable and contrary to human dignity and international human rights and humanitarian laws. He also went on to say, and I quote, "I urge India to respect the 2003 ceasefire arrangement and investigate the incidents of ceasefire violations along the line of control," unquote. Now, ironically, Pakistan's response came on a day Indian troops claimed that Pakistani troops continued targeting several villages and Indian posts. Pakistani army shelled areas with mortar bombs in the Poonch-Rajouri belt of Jammu and Kashmir. 1 civilian was injured. Yesterday, 2 Jawans were killed and 6 persons injured as Pakistan violated ceasefire 5 times and pounded several villages and forward posts with mortar bombs.
जवाबी कार्रवाई इस बार भारत की ओर से हो रही है, ये कई बरसों से नहीं देखने को मिली, चाहे वो सीमा के ऊपर है, चाहे सीमा के भीतर। सीमा के भीतर भी आतंकवादियों पर बहुत अधिक दबाव पड़ा हुआ है, घाटी के भीतर भी और दूसरे क्षेत्रों में भी, और इसका ये भी एक सुखद परिणाम है कि सेना बलों का, अर्धसेना बलों का मनोबल बड़े ऊंचे स्तर का है.
And let's take you through some developments from across the world now in Global Buzz. France's head of the armed forces, Pierre de Villiers, has resigned due to a public dispute with President Emmanuel Macron over proposed defense budget cuts. De Villiers said that he had sought to maintain a French defense force able to do an increasingly difficult job within the financial constraints imposed on it. Also, he could no longer guarantee the robust defense force necessary to protect France. The Communist Party of China wants its members to give up religion and seek faith and belief within the party's ideology or face punishment. Wang Zuan, the director of the State Administration for Religious Affairs, said that CPC members should be atheists and not have religious beliefs. According to experts, the direction is meant to maintain party unity. Torrential rains flooded streets in Shanxi province of northern China. Water depth in some of the areas measured more than 1 meter. Northeastern Heilongjiang province issued an orange alert over the rainfall today. That's all we have for you in the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.